Good morning, everyone. Really awesome to have you all on the webinar this morning. Um, we're looking forward to a really awesome session with Columba. I'm going to get started. We are at 10:01 at the moment, and I think in the interest of time and to give Columba as much time as they need to get through all the amazing talent that we've got on the call today, we're going to get kick started. As you know, South Africa is headed for enormous growth in the sector, which is really an exciting time for all of us. And What's key is that we have sufficient talent pipeline that is going to come through and service that demand that we are creating as a country and the jobs that we're creating as a country. And this is where our partnership with Columba becomes so important because there's work that they're doing in the schooling sector that enables youth coming out of matric to really be work ready and to have some specific skills. And here to talk to us about those skills today is Monique Blichnout. She's been with Columba Leadership since 2015 and has worked in various roles across the organization. She's currently the Alumni Bridging Manager, and Monique is extremely passionate about people's development. She also loves seeing people thrive in what their natural strengths are. Committed to youth work and seeing youth people live their best lives, she seeks to link them to suitable opportunities that would assist them and help them excel. Monique also obtained her postgraduate degree in psychology at the University of the Western Cape, and her experience includes working at a youth substance abuse center and a police trauma room. So, Monique, over to you for an exciting webinar.
Thank you so much, Shona, and thank you to everybody that's here this morning. It's good to see you, and I hope we're going to have an awesome session today. And I'm going to have a bit of time to speak about what Columba does, but then we'll have an awesome opportunity to speak to some of our alumni that has actually been through our program. So I think it's important for us to then just jump straight into it, and let's have an awesome time together. So for those of you who don't know who Columba is, I think it's important for us just to give some background about who Columba is. So Columba Leadership is a national NGO with a 12-year record. Actually, we started in 2009 and we're going close on 13-year track record. We are a values-based leadership organization, and our aim is to actually have ethical leaders in our country, ethical leaders in our school. And we think it's very important to have ethical and responsible leaders in this day and age that we are in. So we're a youth leadership program, and we work in high schools across the country. So we actually work in 6 provinces in Gauteng, Northwest, Free State, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, and KZN. And so that is where our footprint is. And over the years, we have had a lot of experience in a lot of schools. And I think what's key for us in understanding is if we want to get young people ready for the world of work, it's too late to start only when they've matriculated. So a key thing for us is understanding that if we start equipping young people at a grade 10 level already, we are giving them the necessary time and the depth in amount of time for them to be able to develop the necessary skills that would help them to be ready for the world of work. So as I go into our presentation, let me tell you what it is that Columba does and how we get school leavers ready for the world of work already from a grade 10 level. So in grade 10, what we do is we go out to our schools and we present to young people and we say, here's a Columba leadership opportunity. Do you want to become part of this? And this is a key thing for us. A lot of times what we find is after young people have matriculated, we have young people who expect things to fall on their lap. Well, Columba's approach is different. We actually want self-motivated young people that are ready to put up their hand and say, at a grade 10 level already, I want to be part of something that makes an impact. And already that shows us the kind of character that this young person has. And so when it comes to actually seeking for work or going out there in the world of work, these would be the kind of young people that put their hand up. So we present to them, they put their hand up and say, I want to be part of this. And I want to mention this. Columba works in underprivileged schools in some of the most disadvantaged communities. And our young people don't have the resources in their school actually to do a lot of things. But they decide to write that motivation and say, I want to be part of this. And this shows character for us in this young person. What we then do is, from those who have applied for our program, we then decide, okay, who are the ones that will actually be part of this program? And they go through a selection process. And we actually select a diverse group of young people, not only your top achievers. We have some of those in the group with behavioral issues. We have some of those who are shy, because our model is that we believe that all young people have greatness inside of them to actually excel. They just need the right partner to hold their hand and the right people to help them on their journey. And what we then do is we take them on this residential academy. The residential academy is an in-depth experiential training that is based on 6 core values that we believe leaders should have. And I'll speak about these values in our next slide. It's, the value of awareness, focus, creativity, integrity, service, and perseverance. And we believe if young people have these values embedded in them, they will be able to excel. And so they go through this leadership intense 5-day leadership training at grade 10 level, where we teach them on values. But this is where the magic actually happens. It's the 2 to 3 years after that, whilst they're in school. And what we're speaking about at Columba is, if you have more time spent with young people, if you invest in them and you journey alongside them, we don't do the work for them, but we get to journey alongside them for 2 to 3 years. And this is where they hone their leadership. These young people then go back into their school space and they learn how to actually come up with a project plan. We have goals. These are our 5 goals. We have a project plan of how we're going to actually do projects. Adults are there to support, but they're not leading. And so this is a different approach that we have. It's a different kind of approach to say that young people already are involved in social action projects. They understand the importance of empathy. They understand the importance of serving others. And so this builds on their character. They need to know how to chair a meeting when they have their meetings. In their meetings as a group, they're obviously going to have challenges and they're going to start fighting with each other and there'll be arguments. But these are the kind of things that we experience when we get into the world of work. So they get to experience that at the school level already. How do I do a meeting? How do I do project planning? How do we actually do project implementation? How do we review whether what we have done in our project has actually been successful? And so as they do this 2 to 3 year project journey in their school and even in their communities, because some of them would go outside of just the school, they would start doing awareness campaigns in their communities. They would start going and serving at orphanages, and they're busy building on the essential skills that we feel is necessary for them to have as they then transition out of school into university or into the world of work or even entrepreneurship. And the critical skills we get to see them developing, and I think this is very important for your sector, is effective communication. How do I write a proposal? How do I speak to the principal or any other adults that I might be needing funding for my projects? So they already get to experience that. But not only that, they also get to think about, to develop critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, things that we feel is so important in the world of work. So as they're busy project planning, they oftentimes hit some difficult challenges because the environment is not conducive. It's a difficult space to be planning projects in when we are under-resourced and we don't have the things to be able to do these projects. But they stretch themselves to be able to go above and beyond only what they are able to do within the school, and they find partners outside. So that for us is so important in the space: critical thinking, problem solving, but also flexibility. And I think it's a core thing in call centers as well. When our young people come back, they're enthusiastic. After the residential academy, we're going to now run projects, we're going to start projects, we can do this. First stumbling block that they find is their actual peers, peers saying, what are you going to do? What change are you going to bring about in the school? and they get to experience them challenging them as they're doing projects. And I think on a day-to-day basis, when you are in a call center, sometimes you have difficult clients, sometimes you have, clients that are actually very friendly. So our young people get an opportunity in the school space to see how it is to work with some difficult people and those who are not as difficult as they are busy doing their projects. So that whole flexibility around being able to adjust to things. But an important thing also is creativity and finding myself in different spaces, speaking to different people. How is it that I can adapt or adjust to whatever the circumstance or the situation is? So our young people get to put these values into practice, but at the same time, as they're doing projects, as they're implementing that, they're developing the additional skills that we feel is so important for them after school. And so for us, it says that these young people have character, they're self-motivated, they're driven, because they get to understand that I have a purpose in life and I need to implement things that will be able to make society a better place. What we then have also as part of our preparation, and this is where myself and my colleague Donald work intensively, is bridging our young people to the right opportunities. But before we do that, before they exit in grade 12, we have a career day with them. And in the career day, we expose them to some critical key players in the different industries. And I know in our last year, our career day, we had companies like WebHelp coming on and just explaining to young people what to expect in the world of work or how to prepare yourself for the world of work. We actually equip them with that to say, you are about to transition now, you are in grade 12, right? These are the key things you need to look out for. In addition to that, we also have an individual development plan for them, where we actually get these young people to journey on their own and say, am I ready for interviews? Do I have my CV? Do I have my email address? Do I understand what it looks like, how I should present myself when I go for an interview? So they get to experience that as well. And our final step, once they've matriculated, we actually get them provincially together, and we call this our alumni orientation. And that's where we onboard them onto our alumni platform. But we also get to do what we call the WOW. For us is a WOW toolkit that we give to them, and we actually go through that with them intensely. And that is, WOW stands for World of Work. And we want to get them ready for the world of work. And I feel that our young people and the caliber of young people that we have, because of the fact that they've been through this intense residential leadership academy, where they have experiential learning and they get to explore and learn about values and leadership, and thereafter get to do some project planning, project implementation, working together in teams and understanding conflict management when we have conflict. They develop the skills that is essential for your industry. They develop the skills that is essential for them to transition successfully. And we also get to work alongside these awesome young people and say, these are our bridging opportunities. This is how you can connect yourself to the right key players. So go out there and just show them how you shine and how you are able to do this. So for us, we believe it's important to have a sustainable model, not just preparing young people at grade 12. You have a 1-hour session with them and say, guys, be ready for the world after work. No, it actually takes depth of time and a different kind of approach that says you have greatness inside of you, but in order for you to actually see that growth in yourself, you would have to put yourself out there and start actually implementing social action, giving back to the community, giving back to your school, giving back to your peers, and actually growing yourself in the time that you are still in school. Because we all know in the education space, it prepares them academically, but it does not prepare them for the world after that. And that is how Columba comes alongside them and says, you can do this. You are in a difficult environment, but you are able to excel out of that and actually become the best version of yourself. And so the values that we look at is the value of awareness, the value of focus, the value of creativity, integrity and perseverance, and service. And so They get to experience this intensely, like I said, on the residential academy. But some of the things that I think it's very important for your sector is young people who are self-motivated under awareness, you know, young people who have tolerance for diversity. I know, example, you, like I said earlier, you might find your difficult clients, you might find your friendly clients, you might find different racial groups that they speak to in your space. But our young people understand what it is to have tolerance for diversity. You have young people under the value of focus who has purpose and direction, and they know what they want in life and they run for that, and they go for that because they understand this value, because they've put it into practice in school. You have under the value of creativity, critical thinkers, problem solvers, people who understand the importance of working in a team, and oftentimes they know how to work independently, but it's important to understand how to work in a team. And that is what they get to learn in school as they're implementing projects, that in a team, we're going to make this thing work even better. And they understand that we all play different roles, and how do you fit into your role? I think very important for me, and one of the values that's so close to my heart, is the value of integrity. I think we all want reliable and trustworthy people to work with us and within our organization. And our young people understand the importance of this. But our last point under integrity speaks about being driven by a moral compass, an ethical compass. And so our young people understand that I must also push for what is my destiny and what is my purpose, but I am accountable to my leaders as well. And important thing for us is this under perseverance, grit, and resilience. And I think when I speak about underprivileged school and disadvantaged communities, our young people come from some difficult circumstances, but they understand it. And in order for me to excel, I need to put in the hard work. And they have proven this over the 2 to 3 years that they've been partnering with Columba in the space, in the school space. They've shown what it is to be resilient. When they've done projects and failed, they understand that a failure is just an opportunity for me to learn and grow. And that is what we try to instill in our young people and in our alumni. They get to build their character. They show determination. And for us, that is such important things that we know is of value for your sector. I think for us, just one umbrella thing, we always encourage our young people, an important thing to do is give back, service. Because as they give back, as they are doing projects, as they're serving, they developing skills. So I'm benefiting from what I'm doing for others. And so that is very key for us to say. Let me just go on to what I think is so key for us to understand is why is Columba's young people different than other people? I think when we look at the kind of young people we take, I did say that it's a diverse group of young people. Some of them have moderate behavioral issues. Some of them are underperforming when we initially take them into our program. But when we look at our cohort and based on external researchers that came in and that did some research for us, we see that 89% of our young people pass matric, and that's against the national average of 76.4. Also, we find that the retention, especially with COVID and all of that things, and this speaks into the value, into grit and resilience. You saw that a lot of young people dropped out of school because it was so difficult in the COVID times. But with the Columba kids, you would have between 90 to 100% of them still remaining in school. And that also shows the type of character that they have. And should they then join your sector, we know that it wouldn't be that they come in and they immediately leave after a month. You actually have an opportunity for young people that would actually stay and do what they need to do for the time that they need to be there. In addition to that, they would add value to your sector. So for me, that is just how Columba prepares them is we start earlier, and we know that if we take them through an intense leadership program, we allow them the opportunity to serve, they would then be ready to excel in whatever space they go into. So very important for us is this question around why should you partner with us? I think that's the purpose of why we are here today. Why would you want to partner with Columba leadership, and why would our young people or our alumni be an asset to you guys? And I think very importantly for me, the first thing we would say here is that obviously Columba works in under-resourced schools, so that would make us an ideal impact sourcing partner for you. In addition, we're also not charging any sourcing fee. So as we provide you with the right caliber of young people in your space, there's no charge connected to this. However, you can, if you want to, have an opportunity to invest in our core program, which is the leadership training that we do in high school, and obviously the support we give to them further on there. For us, values is important. And we spoke about a moral compass, and we would send you the right young people who have the right kind of chemistry that would fit into the space that you need them. Young people who have the necessary 21st century skills to be able to excel in what they do. But not only that, we also have young people who have team leader capability, young people who have supervisor or manager capability. And you're going to get to see this when we get our young people to come on board, and not just hear it from me, but you'll actually be able to see coming from the actual young people what it is that we have to be able to offer to you. So when partnering with Columba, you also get an opportunity to promote your own brand in some of the schools, in the local schools that we work with. We always give our partners an opportunity to be able to do that. And I think it's important. It's very important, this point for us. By placing Columba leaders, you are showing that that social contribution is important. And that we are helping to create role models. If you are making a social contribution, you actually deserve an opportunity to excel in your own personal life as well. And that is for us what's very key. So I think basically I've covered most of why we feel it's so important for you to partner with us and the kind of young people we had. But I'm going to allow our young people to get more of a platform to share on their journey and their experience in our space. And I think firstly, we have a young gentleman that is very close to my heart. I worked with him when he was back in school and actually seeing the growth in him. We have Emmanuel on the space, and I think Emmanuel always calls himself a go-getter. And Emmanuel is just going to share with us his experience. He's also part of a call center, and he works in that space and is currently in a team leader position. And I will allow him just to share a bit more about himself. Emmanuel, are you there?
I'm here, Monique. Thank you for the opportunity. Shall I turn on the video?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much to be given this great opportunity. So I'd like to detailedly just introduce myself. So I grew up at the side of Lanseria, where I attended high school Kwenamalako. It's one of the farm schools. And to be honest, I was not educational inclined with my disabilities that I have. But what made me to stand out, it was the self-conduct that I have, and also the willingness, the hunger that I have. For example, I'm in the hospital right now, but I opt to participate in this great web now. So when I joined Columba, I was in grade 9, I remember. I was not actually having a clear direction in terms of where am I heading and where am I seeing myself? What is my passion? What is my calling? But I was one of the gentlemen that was passionate to actually try to establish what is the greatness retained within. And that is where Columba played a key part to unleash that greatness retained within. That is why I found my calling that is actually more passionate about translating or transforming education education to the next individuals, and also being compassionate about their well-being, and also to instill my leadership skills and try to also share it with all those that I know. With that said, that I was not educational inclined, I happened to fail some classes, that I managed to pass matric because of Columba leadership played a vital role in terms of helping me with the coping mechanisms that I managed to execute and do well with my matric. With that said, I was not only actually focusing on only at school, I was also serving within communities. Providing community programs such as cleaning, gardening, and giving back to the community, whereby I will gather a group that we can go and give back to the community. We will seek for donations. We will be going extra mile to make sure that we meet the needs of the society. We will be coming with business ideas as well. And with that said, that attitude, that leadership conduct attracted a lot of people. I went to radio interviews, I've been on articles, and then I happened to have to meet one of the executives at Nedbank based on what I'm doing. Just cannot mention the name because of the interest they saw. Then he popped the question, where do you see yourself after school? And my question was like, my answer was, I want to see myself having a PhD in leadership. Leadership in what? I don't know. I just wanted to be a leader. Then I came to understand as well that I don't even have to study to be a leader. It starts within, and the willingness and passion to apply yourself to accomplish different missions that you can be a leader. With that said, then when I matriculated, I was given the opportunity to be having a contract for 12 months at Nedbank. And that is where I was placed at the head office of Nedbank at Sandan branch here at Santan. I was under the L&D department, whereby we were assisting with the upskill programs for the staff members, the current staff members. We were assisting them to apply. I was more like doing like more of an admin work to make sure that the application arrived, documents are validated, are legit. I was one of those departments. However, based on what I took from Columba, the key one is service, that actually I'm not limited. I can spread my wings, learn more about the business and see the gaps that I can fill myself. And that is where I got myself featured into the videos of Nedbank. I got myself even sharing a stage with the CEO of Nedbank. And that was an opportunity actually, well, I was actually sharing that opportunity about why they should not be doing the restructuring. They should actually try to instill the course of educating us, the current staff members. And with that said, large number of us at Nedbank were given the licenses for LinkedIn to upskill ourselves. Now, coming to the last 3 months of my contract, we're trying to find something for me to do and to be permanent because of the willingness that is there is it's outstanding. However, it was difficult because I was fresh from school. To be placed at the head office was going to be a big step. They wanted now to take a baby step to actually well prepare me. That is only when I was given 3 months of my remaining contract to go and prove myself at the contact center. I won't lie, it was overwhelming when I got there. Over 300 people on the floor. I don't understand anything, but I actually reflected and said, I made it. And I didn't only come this far to only end this far. That is when I applied my skill. My skill relates with articulating. And I saw that actually now they're looking more about revenue generation. And that is when I became a top leads generator. Within 6 months, then I was converted to permanent. Within 6 months of being permanent, I was appointed to go to fraud desk. And the nice part about it is that I was not applying with the CV when someone is applying on the system. I was working with applying myself. Most of the important thing is that qualification does not mean that you can lead. The willingness and passion to lead can take you far. And I came to understand as well that as I am now regarded as the top lead generator, it's not about me now to shine alone, outstanding within the team. I climbed the mountain so that I can see those that are struggling, so I can lay my hands to assist as to how can I assist them so that the team drastically can perform. With that said, now the team that I was with, they performed drastically, and I was now appointed to be a team leader under service desk. But again, I did not apply with the CV, did not apply on the system. It's not like I'm robbing the system, but it's a way that I'd like to operate. I apply myself with all my heart and my being into it before I can come with the CV, because if I know qualification can contradict what I can do. So I really appreciate the opportunity granted from Columba. It really opened my eyes. I'm always into Monique. Monique, please make use of me. I'm available at any time, whether admitted or not, whether at work or not. I'm always available. And this is what I'd like to say, that a call center, it could be, and it is a great place where youngsters can actually start from and learn a lot. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Can you tell us how you actually still keep the values alive where you are and how you, in your workspace, how do you still keep the values alive?
It's a great question, and it has to be coming honest. It's not easy. One thing that I learned recently is emotional intelligence, knowing others, how they feel and their well-being. Now, looking at the key values that I took from Columba, standing one, I started service. I avail myself to everyone to assist as I am passionate about assisting others to also do better. And now coming to integrity, I go an extra mile that if they say I started work at 8 until 4:30, it's not for me. That is the working hours for them. But I also need my time to educate myself about them, about the company itself, and also looking at the one of the values about integrity, service, and Monique, please help me through that.
Integrity, service, focus, creativity.
And true, you're very right. Like when I went to Frog Desk, actually, what they liked about me was the creativity. I was following the process, but I was also coming with innovative ideas on how to secure, prevent, and also stop fraud from happening. And focus, I actually have passion in planning. For you to focus, you have to also plan to execute professionally. So
Awesome. Thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel's story inspires me because, you know, he went in on an entry level and you are today in what position?
I'm in a team leader position at Service Desk NetBank.
And that took about 2 years, right, for you to work
Yes.
yourself up to that position. And that's an
Yes.
amazing story. You know, when you go to and you actually search Emmanuel School, it's Gwena Molapo, and sometimes it's in the outskirts of Lanseria, and sometimes people would underestimate what young people can do coming from those type of schools. But Emmanuel has shown how you can actually grow yourself as a leader and show determination. Awesome. Thank you, Emmanuel. If there's any questions for you, we'll get you back up. Our next alumni. So I'm starting with the older kind of guys who've already had some experience in the world of work, and then we'll have some of our younger, recently matriculated alumni just come up so that you can also see the kind of pool we have there. So our next beautiful young lady that we have is Innocentia. Innocentia is currently actually in Kenya, but she had work experience in companies like Merchants and WebHelp. And we would just like to hear a bit about her. She says she's a firm believer in a new jacket. And so Columba has a lot of, what do we call this? We have a lot of things that we actually say to them, no, try this, try that. So a new jacket for us is saying that I put on a new jacket just to see whether it fits. It might not fit. But if it does fit and it's something for me, then I would actually be able to do it. So we always encourage them to try different kind of things. And I think she says, I'm a firm believer in the new jackets, a very powerful concept that I've learned from Columba. One of the biggest drives for me is that people would rather follow a leader who has a heart than a leader with a title. So we'll just give over to Innocentia just to tell us a bit about her experience. Innocentia, over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Innocentia. Thank you, Monique, for the opportunity. Oh, wow. My Columba journey has been, a long one. I'll try and keep it short. I went to the academy when I was in grade 10, and I would say that Columba actually saved me, because at that point when I was chosen, I was firstly new in the school, and it was at a time where my grandmother couldn't pay for my fees. So it was one of those where I thought, okay, I have to give up now. I almost dropped out, but fast forward to that, going to the academy, I learned a lot of values that I still carry till today. After high school, I worked for Merchants SAA. After Merchants, I worked for multi-choice. And in between all of that, Columba always reached out to check, how are you doing? What do you need? How can we help you? And I liked what you mentioned earlier on, Monique, about obviously you're not only just gonna spoon feed us, but we need to show that we want to put in the work. I think for me, it's having someone who believed in me, and that's why I am where I am right now. And I still preach my Columba values, and I still tell people about that one experience. It's one of those experiences that I can't just put in words alone, because it was that deep, it was that profound for me. I'm currently living and working in Kenya, and I think one of the best companies that I've ever worked for me, it was WebHelp. When I got to WebHelp, the first thing that I saw, human first, and I thought, wow, finally I get to a point where I'm able to, put my values into play and show what a leader can be. 6 months down the line, I never thought I'd actually work for a campaign that required me to, have some tech idea in a way. Yes, I did work for MultiChoice, but I still didn't have that much confidence to say I could do this. 6 months down the line, I was a floor walker. So for me, Columba has done so much for us. I would like to call us because every time when I meet with the other guys, it's like you're standing on the shoulder of a giant, because it's always so fun. It's always so exciting. And it's always so good to see us as young people go out there, reach for our dreams, doing community service. If you go for a year without doing community service, you're able to sit down and think there is definitely something missing. So yeah, that is my experience.
Thank you, Innocentia. So I have a testimonial from one of your previous managers who says he actually employed 3 of our alumni straight out of school. And he says all 3 showed tremendous dedication and commitment to growth, new learning, and obviously in the first taste of the corporate life. All 3 progressed within Merchants Group, and in turn, outside of Merchants. Innocentia was an absolute diamond, always grounded, level-headed, and determined to make a difference in a professional and personal journey. I'm proud to say that Innocentia is a middle-level manager in Kenya, working for what is now the biggest BPO in Africa. So that was just some feedback from Vimal. Right?
Oh my God, thank you.
So I love that beautiful smile, Innocentia. And I think Innocentia spoke about being a floor worker at WebHelp, how she actually worked herself up to that. That's also similar to a team leader, right, Innocentia? If I get it right.
So with a floor worker, what you do when people come up to the main production floor from training, what you then do is to sort of like help them through how it works. So it's like more of a trainer-ish in a way, but it's like, honestly, for me, it was just working with the other person to make sure that we have a happy customer and we actually enjoy what we're doing, so that the process is like really cool and fun for the customer too. So yeah.
Awesome. So you got to get the young people ready for whatever, the new people ready for whatever they needed to do. That's amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, both Emmanuel and Innocentia is just displayed and showed to us that the caliber of young people we have team leader capabilities in them, and they're able to excel in a short space, in the space that they are, because they know what they're there for. They're driven, they're ambitious. But let's move over to our recently matriculated cohort from last year. So first up, we have Zanele Molo. And Zanele, in her high school years, became, even though she was a Columba leader, she also has a particular interest in reporting. And so she calls herself, I'm a reporter. She's been part of some radio programs as well. And so she's just going to tell us what are some of the skills that she learned in high school that she feel helps her to be better prepared to transition successfully. So Zanele, if you are in the space, over to you, my darling. Please, you may put on your camera.
It's on. Oh my goodness. Hi, Monique, can you hear me? Monique, can you hear me? Oh my goodness.
Yes, we can hear you, Zanele.
Okay, I was getting a bit nervous. I'm trying to start my video. It says the host has disabled it. Thank
Let's
you.
see. Please try it again.
Yeah, I just did. Okay,
There
can
we
you
go.
hear
We
me?
can see you now.
Okay, thank you. Greetings, everybody, and thank you, Monique. So my name is Zanele Molo. I recently matriculated last year from the Center of Science and Technology. So I got recruited from Columba when I was doing my grade 10, right? I was part of the away team. So that's where you learn your values, basically. That's where you're groomed as a leader. So what my values do for me as a young person and as a reporter, they keep me grounded so that I don't grow a big head, because you know you're good at what you do, but then it's how you portray yourself and how you handle yourself with people that gives you the image that you have. So as Monique has said, I'm a reporter. I'm a young reporter from the Children's Radio Foundation. We call ourselves the Optimistic Youth Reporters, and my role is a presenter. So the value that mostly stands out for me as a young reporter is the value of awareness, you know, because it's important when you're telling yourself that you're amplifying people's voices to be aware of your surroundings and aware of the people that you work with and the people that you work for. Because as a reporter, I'm a servant of the people, I'm a storyteller. So what I do is to amplify people's voices, you know. So that's what basically what my values do, and also like also applying critical thinking, because you can't just handle yourself anyhow. You have to be delicate with how you handle people's stories and how they and tell their backgrounds or their stories, you know. And also being taught how to handle myself as a leader, I'm more than capable and able to multitask through everything, because my high school years were part of the worst years of my life. That's where I experienced the most of the deaths in my family. Like people were just dying like it was a plague. But then because I had my values to keep me grounded, I was able to multitask both as a reporter, a RCL member, a class leader, and also as a graduate from the Leadership Academy. So all of those positions, they what am that's in there. All of those positions have a way that people expect you to portray yourself. You know, you can't be a mess in front of people. So it's, and also the support system that comes with the alumni. You know, the people that you graduate with, you get to know each other on a more personal level. You get to learn how the next person is. You know, because um a lot of different young people get recruited. It's not the same group of people. It's always different with every group. Also, the home team and the away team, everybody is different. So that's where your leadership skills get tested in everything. But with regards to life after matric, my values have also helped me a lot, because I got rejected in quite a few tertiary institutions. And you know, when you're just about to give up, you remember that you have a purpose. So I decided that I'll take an intentional gap year to work hard on my portfolio, because I know that I'm good at what I do and I have a lot of experience, because I've been reporting since 2017. So I told myself that I'm gonna build in my portfolio and show people that I am good at what I do, and try again next year. And as a result, I'll be flying to Greece next month to do a pop-up show where I will be reporting, of course. So yeah, that's basically what Columba has done for me. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Zanele. I think what Zanele also spoke about is also after being part of Columba, then going into RCL. And that's what we find with a lot of our young people. As they start implementing projects and they put themselves out there as leaders in the school space, they then become what is now the recognized leadership body in the school. They become part of that as well. And I love your energy and all the best with your Greece trip. I hope you represent South Africa and all of the young people in our space as well. I think when I spoke to Zanelli, she always says, you know, one of the things she obviously continuously got to develop as being part of Columba was her communication skills. And I just love seeing that bubbly, beautiful personality coming out. Our second recently matriculated young lady is Anna. And Anna says, when she speaks about herself, she always says, I'm bubbly and passionate. I'm goal-driven. So Anna, can I give you 1 minute? Because I think we might run out of time. If you can just introduce yourself and just give a bit of your story. Yeah, over to you, Anna.
Hi, everyone. Can you please enable my video?
Please try again.
Hi, everyone.
Anna, might be connectivity challenges, but we're not hearing you nicely. Can you just try again?
So,
there we go.
okay. Through the Columba classes that we attended and the values, they really helped us a lot through our matric year. So like we didn't have an economics teacher. So we had to find a way on how to use the values so that we can be able to catch up with the syllabus. So this is when we started using the value of creativity and focus so that we will be able to catch up on our work. And being a Columba alumni is a really great opportunity because of like right now I'm kind of volunteering. I'm tutoring with accounting. We are helping students that are less privileged to come up with better ways on catching up with their schoolwork and making sure that they get better marks, actually good marks, because nowadays we are aiming high. So I can say before I was part of the Columba team, it was really hard for me because I didn't know how to work with teams. I was never good with teamwork. My communication skills were very low. And I was actually trying with problem solving. So being part of the program, I was able to enhance and learn more about teamwork and the fact that teamwork is actually a good thing. That as a person, you cannot sorry about that, you cannot achieve like almost everything on your own. There's a point whereby you need people to work hand in hand with you. So about communication, it helped me a lot. I was able to communicate with my teachers, to talk to them, explain to them about what am I suffering with and all that. Even my team members, I was able to talk to them. So I also came up with the code of if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. So this is the code that I have been using since I've been part of the Columba program, because there's some times in life whereby there's a situation where you cannot um, adjust to it much easier. So if I couldn't change that thing, I was ready to change my attitude so I could be able to adjust to what is happening around me. So in a matter of fact, I learned that in my community, a lot of girls don't go to school because they lack sanitary pads, school uniform, and all of those things. So we came up with an idea of coming up with ways of how to help them without changing the environment of the school. So we were able to donate a few pads, toiletries, non-perishable food to everyone who was in need of it, which is now still running under the center and where I am currently volunteering. So I've been doing a lot of volunteering work nowadays. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Anna. So Anna just is one of our home team members. I think very important for us to explain is in Columba, you have the away team, those who go to the 6-day residential academies, and those who unfortunately are unable to go to the 6-day residential academy and join the Columba movement after that. We then do an intense 1-day program for them at the school. And even though she was only part of the 1-day program, we get to see that heart of volunteering there. She's putting herself out there and obviously always connecting with Columba with new opportunities. I'm just afraid we're going to run out of time, so I'm quickly going to ask Mlungisi to just give us a short brief of his experience in the call center, and he also has his own business now post his call center journey, and then we'll have a supervisor just sharing on the experience with working with Columba leaders. Mlungi, are you ready for us? Mlu. Okay, Mlu is not ready for us. Can we then ask Sibusiso? Sibusiso, could you just kindly speak for us quickly, just share on your journey, and then we will close off.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Hope you're all good. The journey that I've had with Columba, has been great. It's been 6 years counting, and if this year ends, it's gonna be 7 years. So I've been with Columba ever since grade 9, and I was still in high school. And I can say I was one of those worst behavior learners, one of the schools not believing in myself and then always doubting myself, But through Columba, they've changed that. They've changed my attitude, and I saw that I was capable of doing everything, and how smart I am and how creative I am. The most value that I took to heart, it was service, where I gave back to the community. And the project that we did, it helped us to gain the skills, more coming to communication skills, teamwork, and those skills that we have gained through Columba since high school have helped us through the working environment, as we had an opportunity last year up until this year, where we were at the 1 year, a 1 year work experience through SA Youth at Work, and it was funded by NetBank. So these skills that we have gained, they've helped us. I was able to lead in school, where my supervisor gave me a task to lead learners for the competition, and able to do some administration work. And I was able to multitask since I was able to work in that working environment. At the same time, I'm a part-time student as I'm doing my as I did my currently my financial. So all these skills that Columba has given us has helped me through a lot. So yeah, that's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Solomon, can you end for us just sharing your journey on working with Columba leaders in the space, and what is the qualities that you got to see in them and from them?
All right, morning everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Of course, this is really quite heartwarming to be seeing everybody here on the space, more on the Zoom rather, with all of the familiar faces that I'm seeing, and just some new faces also coming through, and just the potential. I see Lou is also in here, and Innocent also. Amazing to hear all of the great things that are happening. I mean, you try to keep track with everybody, but everybody kind of follows through with their journey. It's amazing to see what everybody is doing. In terms of my space or my experience working with leaders, I'm an alumni myself. So it's not as if I haven't been through the program. I've been through the program, and being through the program and seeing other people also grow from the program is a really amazing experience. I want to kind of focus a little bit. I just want to take a minute to just focus on the frameworks that Columba works across or works through in terms of the activities, or effectively these values rather, and a major focus on creativity and perseverance, right? What happens here is and the power with what Columba does in the students and the learners and the people is that it creates a shell and a shell to learn, an openness to learn, a desire to learn. And what better people to have in a BPO company or in a business process outsourcing company than people who are willing to learn, where you're dealing with, you know, very different and variety of different companies or clients rather, where these types of people come and step into the space and would then, you know, just burst with this you know, kind of desire and hunger to learn. So I've worked with both Mungisi, I've worked with Innocentia in the space and many other alumni in the call center space. And myself being an alumni and being in the call center space, it's a really amazing experience to come through with all of these values and applying these values into such a space. Firstly, you come into a space where you've just come straight from school and stepped into the working space. You're ambitious and you're open and your mind is just buzzing. You just want to learn and you just want to do all of these things. And the amount of information that is fed and you're open, and as soon as you see all of that, you're kind of open to how great and how amazing the space is and how much is possible. Because two quotes that I currently live by, Henry Ford once said that whether you think you can or whether you think you cannot, you're right. And that's such a powerful quote, because when you come in and you've got these values, you've got an open shell and you're willing to learn, you've got a burning desire to learn, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're absolutely right. But what Columba does is it emphasizes the point that you actually can. And so you step into the space with the mind and the desire that you actually can. And that's why you see all of these current alumni growing into these amazing spaces and the team leader space. It's like 6 months and then they're up, 1 year and then they're up. And it's really amazing because really that's what Columba has done. Columba has built a generation of leaders that are going across the country and really growing through these spaces. And it's not just through call centers, it's in other spaces as well. But I believe that in call centers, in a space where you deal, and I say business process outsourcing, particularly when it comes to this partnership and including merchants and probably many others as well that have been in the space, business process outsourcing doesn't count as to which client or which, particular business or industry you're going to get. You may get any business or any industry. And so you need an open mind. You need the shell. And Columba gives you exactly that. You get people that are, willing to learn and completely open, resilient, and they persevere. The creativity that I was speaking about as well is there. And that's the type of people you need in that space. You need people that will push through and be completely open to adaptability and a creative mindset and just taking things forward, So honestly, there's no way to really just thank what Columba has done. I've just been on a journey on my own as well right now, just starting a D group, in fact, with a couple of guys from the neighborhood. I grew up in Hillborough, so a couple of guys from the neighborhood, and focusing particularly on Safe South Africa, because we do know the state of South Africa in terms of the economy and in terms of what's happening politically and everything in the space is not really the most amazing space. And we are really trying to go into that space and take it upon ourselves. We've seen other people right now leading us into that space, and it's time we also do the same to try and save this country of ours. It is an amazing country. There's so much potential with the people here. And like I said, this very same quote by Henry Ford, we need to continue this drive by Columba of turning people into these shells where they actually believe that they can, because whether they can or whether they think they can, rather, or whether they think they can't, we can't be, an emphasis of negativity. Would rather be an emphasis of positivity, and that's what we're doing. That's what Columba is really about, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I'm really grateful to be seeing what everybody is doing. It's really amazing work, and big ups to everyone. I think this is not just generational; it goes all the way through.
Thanks, Solomon. Monique, do you want to give Mlu a quick minute to say hi to everybody? He did come off camera before we close.
Okay, sure. I was just taking key from you whether we should continue or not.
Yeah, we can do a quick minute for Mlu.
Okay, Mlu.
Morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Hi, Solo. Hi, we were in the same school and we did a lot of work together. So I don't know if a minute is enough for me to share my story, but I'll try and just sum it up. So I'm from Centurion College, which is an inner city school in Joburg, which really had little activities for us to do outside the academic space. So then Columba came in grade 10. And yeah, I think at that time I was a bit naughty. I was one of the naughty ones in the group, and not so academically strong as well. Then I went to the academy, and then we learned about all these 6 values. And then the one value that spoke to me that I still live by is, well, there's 2. It's creativity and service, right? Right now, I'm at a point where I've started my own photography agency, and I've got 2 permanent staff members. And it's challenging. It's really challenging. You have to be creative about how you source new business, because photography is it's a very competitive space. But then with these values that I've learned from the academy, I'm able to sort of go through these months with my staff members and make sure that everyone is paid on time and is paid very well or fairly from what they deserve and the work that they put in. However, this wouldn't be able if it wasn't for my call center journey. So after matric, I applied it after to study filming, but yeah, there was no funds at home for me to pursue that. Then Tracy linked me up with merchants. I worked in a contact center environment for 2 to 3 years. And when I got there, I knew that this was not the final destination for me. You know, I needed to use the opportunity that I had of getting income. Then I saved up for the past 2-3 years to just get my camera gear and understand, because there was internet at work. We didn't have internet at home, so I'd stay even after hours after I've done with my shift and just Google how to start up a photography agency. And so I think the call center really shaped who I am now, with all the challenges that you'd face from these customers to the challenges I'm facing now with my current clients, which is Mzansi Magic, Mnet, and the SABC. So I really think that the contact center became a learning experience, more like a varsity for me, where I learned how to problem solve and really engage people that are heated. When they call into the call center, you'd find an irate customer, and you can't come into that call with the same energy. You know, you have to always keep calm and communicate as effectively as you can. Try to resolve issues, which is what we do now, because half of the time we're not taking photographs, we're resolving issues for clients, we're changing imageries, we're changing stereotypes. So yeah, that's what the Columba and the call center environment did. It all sort of came together to bring this one person that I've grown to become. And yeah, we up and running. And I'm so happy to be here and seeing you.
Awesome, Amlu. Really, really awesome story. And thank you for condensing it for us. Monique, I'm going to hand over to you for last words, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, so just last words, you got to see some of our alumni pool, and we hope that you would really partner with us and we can get our young people into your space. Thank you so much for spending this hour with us, and to the organizers, we really appreciate you, and we'll continue working on this partnership of ours. Over to you, Shona.
Thank you so much, Monique, and thank you to everybody that has joined us. It's been a really intense hour. It's been a really satisfying hour. And to all of our Columba alumni, really well done, guys, on being the change that you want to see. Continue to exude that confidence, that energy, and change the lives around you. Monique and your team, well done on doing what you're doing. And to everybody still on the call, if you would like to connect with Monique, please reach out to me or any one of the regional representatives, and we will then share. We'll do a connect on email with Monique and the Columba team so that you can see how you can get involved and how you can take up some of the youth that they've come through the Columba training that are sitting there waiting for opportunities to be employed. I thank you very much. Have a wonderful week, rest of the week, and have a good weekend tomorrow. We will chat soon. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you. Bye.